Hello, all of you beautiful people out there. So I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it was good. It was good. I think plain and simple, it was entertaining, it was funny, it was just a good overall film. I feel as though if you're a kid or even adult, I feel like you'd really enjoy it. Personally, for me, if I was to describe it in one word, I would describe the movie as fun. I thought it was jam-packed with a lot of references and fun, kooky moments. I thought it was, it was good. It was a really fun experience. All right, so that was my short opinion. Now to really get into the deep part of it. So from here on out, there's gonna be spoilers and opinions warning. So if you don't want to be spoiled by the movie any more than you have to, I'd recommend clicking away now. So just spoiler warning out there right now. I can't believe at the ending that they revealed Waluigi and Wario at the end. Like, they were just like in the background just laughing maniacally. It was creepy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That didn't actually happen. That didn't happen. But yeah, no, spoilers ahead. Okay. Also, I don't necessarily have a script, so this is just me at the top of my head remembering so much of the said movie. But with that, let's get into it. So what did I like about it? I think the entire film in itself, I really enjoyed. I kind of felt like there was a lot of funny moments. The characters were pretty cute and enjoyable to watch. I kind of felt as though each character when they first appear on screen, I feel like their character is completely solidified for like the entire movie. That's not really the best way to explain it, but I kind of found it that like Mario, when you first meet him, like he's already like, he's brave, he's, courageous, like he doesn't take any guff from no one. The scene when like Spike is picking on both of them, it's like Mario's defending his brother. It's just like that really solidifies Mario's opinion, or it like solidifies his overall personality opinion. And even like when it shows the flashback scene of baby Mario and baby Luigi, even Mario's just this short little guy and he defends his brother. Like, that's just, what a champ. And then we see like Luigi, where he's more of a shy kind of character, where he's more, timid, but he really cares a lot about his brother and wish he could do more. Bowser was just purely like an evil, cynical, like evil sort of guy, going after the superstar and whatnot. But then definitely at the course of the film, we hear him say he will marry the princess. And that is a completely Bowser thing he would do. And that's almost like a reference to so many Mario games like Mario Odyssey, or even like Super Paper Mario, and maybe even something older, So like really solidified his personality. Toad was definitely an interesting case. I really liked Toad. There was nothing wrong with him. It's just, he was definitely he had the character trope where he would act all tough and all brave, but then whenever things got tough, he just kind of got scared, or he's just like, no way, man, I'm getting out of here. I can't do this. That was kind of his personality to it. Peach. Now, this Peach in particular was completely different than what we've experienced. Peach was more, it was kind of like a fusion of, the calmness of the Princess Peach to then like the tomboyish, like confident fighter Daisy in a sense. Kind of a combination of both the princesses into one, where it's like this Peach is just a lot more like brave and whatnot, and, wants to protect her kingdom. And I guess like within the story, she obviously, gets trained within the Mushroom Kingdom when she was very young. And honestly, there's the scene where she goes through the pipe, from another world, and the Toads take her as one of her own. So then I'm wondering if they ever make another movie, will they, talk more about, like, will they explain where Peach kind of comes from and whatnot? We'll have to see. The music within the Mario movie was absolutely fantastic. There was so many themes. There was like Mario Kart 8 music. There was like that menu theme. There was, just the classic like Mario theme. Do 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 do. It was just, there was so much music within this movie. One thing that I've seen some people complain about is people using, or this movie using the 80s music, we kind of hear like, I need a hero, or, those other sort of 80s music themes. There was a couple, I forget what the other one was, but there was those sort of songs played, and I didn't really have too much of a problem with it, but some people have complained that it was bouncing back and forth, where it was Mario music, then it was like old 80s music, and to me, I think it was fine. It was just, for a Mario movie, I thought it was pretty okay. It was all right. Okay, one of the biggest things I loved about it is the sound effects. Oh man, Mario, getting bigger with the super mushroom, or, just getting a power-up in general. I thought, the sound effects within referencing of the video games was awesome. And especially if you've caught on from when Bowser was mainly Jack Black's voice. By the way, my favorite voice of all the cast is that we hear mainly Jack Black's, growly voice, and sometimes most of the time his high-pitched voice. I think he did good though, but we heard some of Bowser's growls and roars from the actual video games. I think there was a specific roar from I think either Mario Galaxy or some other games, maybe from 3D Land or World or whatnot. It's we hear the sound effects from these video games, and it's just it's so nostalgic. That's what I really love about it. Charles Martinet references. I think there was only 2 that I could catch. I think there was Giuseppe at the beginning of the film, where we kind of hear him, say, Mario's was the Italian too hard on the commercial that they made? And then Giuseppe's just no, I think it was a good, woohoo. And it's oh, all right. And then what was cool is that Charles Martinet voiced Mario's dad. And I thought that was kind of cool. I heard that, and I thought that was kind of a cool little Easter egg that they put in. Speaking of Mario's dad, Mario and Luigi's family, that was interesting. We got to see, Mario and Luigi, their mom, dad, a few relatives, and I think their grandparents as well, all in the same household at the supper table there. I thought that was so cool that we got to see the entire Mario family together. I thought that was just so adorable, and now I guess it's technically canon that we actually see what they look like and who they are and whatnot. Also, I gotta say, in the beginning of the film, or at least after the commercial, and when Mario and Luigi do their first job in the rich people house, they go into that fancy white building where it's they have a leak or whatnot. The scene where Luigi steps on the dog bone, that dog treat, and the dog looks over all shocked and then gets upset with the Mario Brothers, but more so Luigi. I guess it's kind of a subtle nudge to, it's either a reference to Luigi being scared, or his attitude, or his personality again, or it could be more of a reference to there's always been dog characters, or just dogs in general within the Mario series. Perfect examples of the dogs you see in Mario Odyssey, or Poochie from Yoshi's Island. That's kind of a stretch. Or a better example, the Polter Pup from Luigi's Mansion. And I guess, again, that said, spoilers for the movie. The final battle, after they defeat Bowser, you see the dog with the rich neighbors, with a serious face, nodding its head towards Luigi, and Luigi nods its head back. I thought that was just so adorable. Just something about that. It's the little things about this movie that was so good. Also, that final battle. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth with this, but that final battle. Oh, man. Mario is just trying to take down Bowser, but Bowser's just beating the snot out of them. And then when he's really seriously hurt, and Bowser goes for a flamethrower, and then Luigi just comes out with this shield, I forget what it's called, the sewer pipe cap thing, and he's shielding his brother, built up the courage after being rescued, after being imprisoned for pretty much the entire film, but gets the courage to save Mario. Luigi really wants to be courageous like his brother, and he does that. And then both of them go for the superstar. and they pulled a Sonic 2 movie where they go Super Mario Brothers. And you know, like the music is playing, they're fast, they're strong. It's the common trope where like Bowser goes to like kick them or punch them, but then they're just not phased, they don't move, and they just completely kick Bowser's butt, which was just awesome. It was just such a good scene in my opinion. I feel like I saw a poll on someone's like question or whatnot, which was better, the Super Sonic 2 one or the Mario Brothers one? And between those two, the Sonic movies were really good, don't get me wrong, but I definitely feel between the two, I kind of like the Super Mario Brothers one more. There was a little bit more like action towards it. I found that the Super Sonic one was still really good. If I were to say general answer, I would say that both of them are even in my opinion, but if I were to give one, you know, a little bit more of the edge, I would give it to the Mario movie one. Oh yeah, I guess DK, you know, what did I think of him? I thought, again, like within the characters being first introduced, I feel like that solidified their character. And I feel like with Donkey Kong, with him losing to Mario in that fight, you know, like Mario puts on the cat suit. The cat suit of all things beat the snot out of Donkey Kong. Like, funny that a cat beats up a gorilla. But you know, I loved it that it's more of a subtle reference to like either like Donkey Kong, where it's like DK's just upset with Mario, or like it's kind of like that rivalry sort of thing. And he's going on in like the film where he's like he hates him or just doesn't want to see him or put up with him. But then as the film progresses, you know, Mario saves DK and then DK saves Mario, and then they both team up to fight a bunch of Bowser's minions. But even they're still like bickering, like it's like, is that a Tanuki suit? It's just like, yeah. Does it look good? It's like, yeah. It's like, really? Not at all. I thought that was so cute. Like, something about their bond and their rivalry was just so, it was so nice. It was so, like, in my opinion, it was pretty accurate to how the movie went. I really liked it. I really liked it. Now, okay, I am so stupid. I am really, really stupid. And you can quote me on that. Danorski is dumb. That I made a video predicting on how the movie would go. And that video got, I think, something like 1,000 views, which thank you very much for watching. You are all amazing. But there was the scene where I'm saying there was like the Rainbow Road track and whatnot, or that kart track. The fact that Nintendo knew what they were doing, that they put the #1 track that a lot of people dislike to drive on, Rainbow Road, and the fact at the end of that whole fight that the blue shell Koopa turns into the blue shell and blasts DK and Mario off. Like, they put two things that were despised about Mario Kart in this movie. And I didn't even think about it at the time with the blue shell Koopa. I thought he was just like a cool reference, you know? It's like, oh, it's the blue shell Koopa, you know? That's where the blue shell comes from. But I didn't actually think he was actually gonna do something. Like, I should have expected that, but I didn't. So that really caught me off guard. I was just laughing in my seat when that happened. That's just, that was just crazy. You know what I mean? You know, there was so many other things in the film that I really liked that I kind of have to rewatch it to get my memory fresh. But one more thing I will say then is that the end credit scene with the Yoshi egg, I think it was really cool that they put in that there was the wedding gifts, you know, at Bowser and Peach's wedding, there was the gifts there, and I saw a Yoshi egg. And I'm just like, oh, is that just like an Easter egg? But no, it was more than that. At the end of the film, when Bowser's castle got transported to Brooklyn, the Yoshi egg wound up in that underground area and started to hatch, and then let out a little Larsu. So therefore, we will see a Mario movie in the future. So what did I not like about the film? Well, okay, I feel like there's one thing that's not less of a dislike and just a little bit of a nitpick, to me at least, but then this next thing that's the biggest con to the film. So, you know how if you've watched the movie, you could name so many references from so many games, like Donkey Kong, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 8, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D Land, Super Mario Galaxy, Yoshi's Island, Super Princess Peach, and even heck, the Mario and Luigi series. Like, there's so many games that they reference from. But I feel like with these references and stuff, is that you could probably maybe pick out 1 or 2 bits of references from these games. And I'm saying references a lot. But if you've watched the movie, like, literally jot down how many you've seen that are referencing Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And I'm not even kidding. As I'm watching the film, like, I could pinpoint so many dang references. Like, for starters, you know, there's Cat Mario with the cat suit that beats up Donkey Kong. But yeah, like I said, the cat suit defeats Donkey Kong. And then we see that Peach is not the damsel in distress, but more of an actual fighter, which within 3D World, that is very prominent. And then, okay, this is the thing I really loved about it, but they, in that rock band scene where it played Bowser's Fury music, that was cool. Like, I think a lot of parents or people would be like, oh, is this just like a rock-like music that they're playing? Oh, that's kind of cool. But no, that's actually from the games, and that's cool. But once again, another reference from like Bowser's Fury, which is the 3D World game. And then also a heavy reference of Bowser when he takes the blue mushroom and shrinks down, he becomes trapped or puts into this little jar. Like, that's another 3D World reference. I just feel like there were so many references specifically from 3D World that it was just like, maybe it was a little too much in my opinion. But I will say, I feel like the reason why they've done this is because in terms of the latest like 3D adventure Mario game that we've had released was Bowser, like 3D Mario plus the latest one, I cannot talk. The latest one that we've had was Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which was released, I think, February of 2021. Now, I know there was like, I think Mario Golf and like Mario Party are like other games of that were released like, I think in October or a little later, but I think the latest adventure Mario game was the latest one, with Mario Odyssey being, you know, a lot later or a lot more back in the past, where Mario Odyssey was released in 2017. So then the latest Mario adventure was Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So I think the reason why they put so many references from that game is because it's the latest of, you know, the adventure Mario games. It shouldn't bother me as much, but just watching the film, I could just count in my head how many references were from that game alone. Now, the biggest nitpick of the movie that, like, everything about the movie, everything about it was awesome and fantastic. I loved it. But the one thing that got me enraged was, not really enraged, but that the movie was too short. It was 92 minutes. It honestly, I kind of wish that the story was fleshed out a little bit better. I wish it was like longer and more, they put more emphasis on like the story, on the character's story. Like maybe a little bit better on like Peach's origin, or, you know, it's just, it felt so fast paced. Like Mario just wounds up in the Mushroom Kingdom and then sees Toad and is like surprised for a moment, but then is totally chill. And one of the biggest things is like, why not Mario, if he was smart, why didn't he just climb back up into the green pipe and go back to see if he can find Luigi? Not just like, you know, just follow this Toad and just go to the princess's castle. Like, sure, you know. It's just like the story, like just for the pacing of the story, it like that made sense for the story to unfold, but it was too short in my opinion. It just felt like boom Mario, boom Bowser, and then boom Mario, boom a scene with Bowser and Luigi, or like boom goes to the Donkey Kong world. It's just like it was going back and forth too fast in my opinion. Also, if you've noticed that I kind of feel like all the 3 big trailers and then all the TV spots, I kind of felt like, didn't I already see this already in the movie? Like, when you watch so many of the trailers, if you've seen all of them, it's basically you've seen the whole movie. It's like they spoiled, or not spoiled, the whole film. So that also didn't really help, in my opinion. So that'd just be the only nitpick. The pacing was just too quick. It was too fast of a movie. If it was a little bit longer, then this would have been like in a fantastic film. And finally, this is my personal opinion. If you disagree with it, fine. I will not hold it against you, but this is my opinion on the voice actors. I loved each and every one of them. I feel like, were their voices perfect? No, but I think for a movie standpoint, I think they did a really, really good job. Everyone gave Chris Pratt so much hate that honestly, he does not deserve it. And I feel like Charlie Day did a good job as Luigi. Jack Black nailed it with Bowser, in my opinion. To me, I feel like it's really hard to mess up Princess Peach. I feel like Anya Taylor, like, she did a really good job as well. And then Keegan-Michael Key, like, dude, his Toad was just, it was pretty funny. He was pretty adorable. I loved it. I felt like all the voice actors did a pretty good job. And I'm glad that they stuck with Seth Rogen's normal voice to be Donkey Kong. Because I kind of felt like the only real voices we've heard of Donkey Kong is like his, that's a terrible impersonation. But like, those are generally his cries. It's just like, there's not much to really go off of in terms of a voice. And I think Seth Rogen does a pretty good job. Like, I honestly like it. So if I were to have to rate this movie out of 10, if you're a normal like movie watcher, like if you are a parent or even a new kid watching this film for the first time and it's your first introduction to Mario, I would rate this movie a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10. It's good, it's fun, it's colorful, and I feel like kids would really enjoy it. However, if you are an avid Mario fan and you've played so many Mario games that you understood almost every single reference, to me, I would rate this a 9 out of 10. Because similar with like either the Sonic movies or maybe even other video game movies, if you've played the games, it makes the movie that much more enjoyable. And I think this is a poor example of me to use, but take Avengers Endgame, for example. If you were to watch this film, not watching anything from the Marvel movies, you'd be like, okay, there's like some fight sequences and like these characters and whatnot. You know, it's just like, what are these references? What are they talking about? There's so much going around. And it's just like, also, just saying, if you watch Avengers Endgame without watching any Marvel movies, that is, don't do that. You are bad. You're bad. Don't do that. Whoops. But if you've seen like Iron Man all the way to Endgame, you have all this knowledge and all of these, you know, memories of these past movies all tied into Avengers Endgame that make the movie that much of a better experience. And that's what I kind of view with the Mario movie. You know, if you've played the games, if you've, you know, like any Mario Kart, any 2D Mario, any 3D Mario, any, like even like Donkey Kong, like Country, or like Super Princess Peach, or any Yoshi games, like anything of Mario, if you've played them, it'll just be that much more enjoyable to watch this film. Yeah, this is my first time reviewing a movie. I like literally at the end of the theater, I jot down a bunch of things that I could remember to share about this film. But I hope you enjoyed it. You know, it was just, I really like this movie. I'd say like probably my top 5 favorite movies so far. It honestly was very enjoyable and the characters were cute. I'm excited for it to come out on Blu-ray and DVD. Yeah, this was honestly, it was a really good movie. So I'm excited for other people to go watch it, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah. This is a Goomba. This is a Goomba.